here with my class, with my students that I teach live. So I won't be able to engage with you very much, but you're invited to just kind of view this behind the scenes little video, this live, and watch what I'm teaching. So this first class is going to be a class of youth. I will be teaching a bunch of kids all around the world how to spell without guessing. And then after that, I have a class full of adults and I will be teaching them. They also come from all over the world. And I will be teaching them how to spell without guessing. And then after that, I have a class of adults that I will be teaching how to read. And this class of adults is remarkable. They are incredible. They are tuning in from all time zones in all parts of the world. They are waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes just to come to class. Hello, if you're watching. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Hello, everybody on TikTok. They are incredible. You're going to watch. When I let them in, they're already going to be there. They are there on time. They are always prepped and ready. They are incredible. You're going to watch when I teach them how excited I get. I am different from the end of the class than I am at the beginning because they are so remarkable and they're so fun to teach. Again, okay, so the first class I'm going to teach is my youth class, and they are all coming in now. I'm about to hit, I'm about to let them all into, from the waiting room, into this class. They are already in the chat saying hello and how excited they are to teach. And so I am going to be not engaging with you as much or you as much, but so I can give my full attention to them. But you are welcomed. You are welcome to just listen to what I'm saying as I teach and engage with you want. You can comment in the comments if you want to answer some of the questions that I'll be asking. You can grab your pencil and paper if you want to practice some of the teaching tips that I will be, there we go, some of the spelling tips that I will be giving. All right, so I am about to hit, I'm about to start my class here in about 30 seconds. See what I tell you in the comments right now before classes even, I haven't even let them in yet, and in the comments they are saying, I can't wait to start spelling. They're amazing. Okay, so I'm going to say adios to you here for a few minutes until class is over, and I'm going to say hello to them. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you. You are already on time. So many of you are already here waiting and putting messages in the Q&A. I see all of these messages from all of you here. Not all of you, but several of you have said that you can't wait to start spelling, that you're anxious to begin. I was just bragging about you. You are all amazing. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome to class. Should we start? We're going to start by counting some sounds. Would you please count how many sounds you hear in the word ambition? Ambition. Stretch out that sound. Hello, Emma. Hi, Aiden. Stretch out the word ambition and count how many sounds are in that word. And then drop that in the Q&A. We are counting how many sounds in the word ambition. All right, let's see what we're getting. All right, so we have anywhere from 3 to 8. Lots of different answers for ambition. So if you put 3, there are 3 syllables. So well done in counting how many syllables there are in ambition. You could hear those 3 syllables, ambition. Those syllables are medium chunks of sound. Words are large or big chunks of sound. Syllables are medium chunks of sound. But within syllables, there's even smaller chunks of sound, and those are called phonemes. So within each one of those syllables, there's several sounds in there, and that's what we're counting, all of those little phonemes. All right, let's find out how many we have. We have a lot of 6s, 7s, and 8s, so let's see which one it is. In ambition, we have a, m, b, I, sh, a, n. 7. Well done. One more time. A, m, b, I, sh, a, n. 7 sounds in ambition. Here's how those sounds are spelled. That A is making it short sound because of those 2 consonants after it. That I in the middle we're going to be learning about next week, why it gets to make its short sound. And same with that TI right there. It's saying shh, because that's what TI says when it's toward the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it. We're going to be learning about that this month in I month. And then that O is spelling the schwa sound right there. And we're going to learn about that in O month. Don't you worry, Emma. If you weren't right on, I bet you were close. I bet you were super close in counting those sounds. Try this one. How many sounds in the word landscape? Landscape. Count how many sounds in landscape for me. How many sounds in landscape? We're counting the sounds in landscape. How many sounds in landscape? Count them up. So landscape is a compound word. You have land and scape that can both sit on their own without each other. They can be just isolated words. So if you want to just count, let my microphone change back here. I bumped it, and you're not allowed to bump this thing or it gets real touchy. Let me know. Okay, can you hear me okay now? Back in the Q&A? Yes, for you can hear me okay? So in landscape, you can count each one of those words. How many sounds are in each one of those words, and then just add it up. Let me scoot this little thing back a little bit. Darn it, it changed back. It's so touchy. This microphone is so touchy. Let's try that. All right, so in landscape, how many did we get? How many sounds? We have, there are 2 syllables, you're right, but I want you to count how many sounds are within each syllable. And if my audio gets wonky, if my microphone, there we go. If my microphone starts, if you can't hear me very well, let me know in the Q&A, okay? All right, lots of 7s and 8s again for landscape. Let's count and find out. We have L, A, N, D, S, K, A, P. 8. 8 sounds in landscape. Again, L, A, N, D, S, K, A, P. 8 sounds. Here's how those sounds are spelled. Now look at those 2 A's right here. In landscape, you'll see that they are spelling 2 different sounds. That first A is spelling A, and that second A is spelling A. Why is that? You're in this class, so you know why that is, don't you? That first A is saying A because of those 2 consonants after it. And that second A is saying A because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors down. That's how much you know. That's how smart you are getting. Well, you already are, but that's all the knowledge that you're getting to fill those beautiful brains that you have. All right, one more counting. How many sounds in bubble? How many sounds in bubble? How many sounds in bubble? Count them up. We are counting how many sounds are in bubble and putting that in the Q&A for me. All right, we are getting lots of 3s, 4s, and 5s. How many sounds in bubble? Okay. In between, yeah, I can choose. Hello, Hunter. Okay, so for bubble, we have b. Now, isn't it tempting to say ba as that first sound? But did you notice how my jaw dropped right there when I said ba? That's actually not the sound that B makes. When you make the sound for B, only your lips move, just b, b. Your jaw doesn't drop. So for a bubble, we have to get that off of the b. Just your lips can pop for the B sound. So we have b, now our jaw can drop for that sound. And then another b, and then our tongue goes between our teeth right there. 4, b, b, 4 sounds in bubble. Who got that? Ruby, well done. Nice. Ben, Emily, Hunter, Gwendolyn, so many of you. Henry, Jack, I can't name them all, but congratulations. And I see that if you didn't get it right on, you got so close. So close. I'm proud of you. Good job. So here's how you spell all of those sounds. We had to have 2 B's in that word, didn't we, for spelling, so that U could make its short sound. Otherwise, if there was only 1 B in there, what would that U have said? It would have made its long sound and said booble. And we don't want booble, do we? We want bubble. So that's why you have to put those 2 B's in there to close in that U. Now that LE is called, that E at the end, that is being the vowel in that consonant LE syllable. It's just being the vowel. Every syllable needs a vowel. Okay, 3 more warm-up questions. Now, no paper, no writing, no typing for these next 3 warm-up questions, okay? Say the word paper. Paper. Now, say it without the second p. Say paper without the second p. Don't write anything down. This is all in our mind, only sound work. That's so sweet, Hunter, I will. Okay, so paper without the second p is payer. Payer. Here's the sounds. We have p, a, p, When you get rid of this p right here, all that's left is p, a, payer. Paper to payer. Did you get that right? Y, yes, or A, almost? Did you get paper to payer? Y or A? Okay, good. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, next one. Say the word reef. Reef. Now, say reef, but add a G to the very front of it. Say reef, but add a G to the very front of it. And what word do you get? Don't write anything down, just in your head. So when you do that, reef changes to grief. Reef to grief. How'd you do? Why, yes, you got it. A, almost. How'd you do for reef to grief? That's a lot of Y's. Well done, my friends. And if you got an A, you are not alone. There's other people who got it almost as well. These are tricky. They're not easy. Okay, last one, and then we're going to get spelling. Say the word river. River, like a stream or a big stream. There's a river. Now change that V sound to a ch. Say river, but change the V to a ch. You got it? I feel like I can hear you. Nice. Okay, so when you do that, river, changing that V to a ch is richer. Richer. River to richer. How'd you do on that one? Y, yes, you got it, or A, almost. Nice, Ben. Can we spell because? Sure. Because is an irregularly spelled word, but I have a little trick for that. It's a little chant. Are you ready? B-E-C-A-U-S-E. 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 Try it. B-E-C-A-U-S-E. It's just a little chant that if you can get it in your mind, then the spelling of that is a lot easier. Okay, Hunter wants to say hello to the new kids. Welcome, everybody. Welcome if you're brand new. But we're going to get spelling right now. In I month, we are learning how to spell the long I sound and the short I sound and when to use each spelling. For the long I sound today, well, on Monday, is this Wednesday? Yeah, on Monday, we learned that when you're spelling a long I sound, there has to be another vowel in the next one or two spots, right? Today, we're going to use a silent E to be that companion vowel when I needs a companion vowel. When it needs another vowel in the next one or two spots. In today's lesson, we're going to choose a silent E. But most of our words today are going to have an IGH spelling. So here's what's fun about IGH. You can pretty much not guarantee, but it's a lot of the time, and it's almost always, you're going to use an IGH to spell the long I sound in short words that end with a T. Short words that end with a T. If you're spelling a short word that ends with a T, use an IGH to spell that long I sound, such as sight, might, light, right? If you know any more, put them in the Q&A. What else? Oh, thank you, Emma. Yes, thank you. Flight, what else do we have? Bright, I love that. Thank you. Any others? Yes, exactly. We have that one already? Yeah, do you see all those words? Sight, might, light, right, flight, fight, bright. They're all short words, which means that there's only one vowel sound in there, and they end with a T. So today when we're spelling, if we are spelling a short word that has a long I sound in the middle, and if it ends with a T, how are we going to spell that long I sound? I-G-H. Are you ready? Let me share my screen. And we will get spelling. We love spelling, especially when we know how to do it. And today we are learning that IGH is how we spell the long I sound in short words that end with a T. So for instance, our first nonsense word that we're going to spell together is fight. Fight. Are you ready? So our sounds are f, I, t, consonants. So that sound is made with your tongue going between your teeth and you blow. That's spelled by that digraph TH. And then it ends with a T sound, right? So we notice here that we have a short word. We know it's short because there's only one vowel sound in it. Do you see that line there that we dotted? That means it's a one-syllable word, or a short word is an easy way to say it. So when we're spelling that long I sound in a short word that ends with a T, you're going to use a what? IGH. That's our new spelling hack for the day. Who knew that already? Who knew that when you are spelling IGH, oh, that's a lot. Yeah, when you're spelling the long I sound in short words that end with a T, you're going to use IGH. Now you know. Now you know, Henry. Now you know. Let's try yours. Your word is splight. Splight. Go ahead and do this one on your own. We have S-P-L-I-T. Splight. Go ahead and try it and then put it in the Q&A. How would you spell splight? Splight. Can you... I want to ask you something. Look on the screen that I'm showing you right now. And I am moving my cursor around something that is popping up on my side. Can you see what's inside my cursor? Put a yes or a no. Can you see what's in here, or is it just showing up for me? Oh, yeah. Can you guys see that? That's good. That's good to hear. All right, so we're spelling splite, and we know how to spell that long I sound. Very good, Ben. I know a lot of you. Nice, Isla. Good, Henry. Nice, Carmen. Aunt Hunter. Karis. My goodness. Every single person. Nimat, Sheath, Gwendolyn. Beautiful. Splite. Good, Melanie. Nice, Ruby. Holy smokes. You guys are such great spellers. Splite. Good, Jack. So our consonants are s, p. Sorry, that is not the sound for P, is it? It's s, p, l, and then the final sound is a T. So here we have a short word with a T at the end. So we're going to spell that long I sound with an IGH. Who's having fun? Already. Who is having fun now that you know how to spell the long I sound in short words that end with a T? Yeah, I know, me too. Number 2, together. Let's do this one together. Our word is chite. So my first sound is ch, ch, like church or choose. Our word is chite. Ch, I, t. Okay, so our first consonant sound is ch. And then we have our t. So we have a short word that ends with a T. We're going to spell it with an IGH, that long sound with an IGH. But you already knew that, didn't you? So you don't need me. So spell this next sound on your own. Spell prite. Prite. P, I, t. Prite. And then drop it in the Q&A. You're right, Nimat and Sheath. Good, Emma. Me too. Yes, we're spelling prite. Prite. So that prite is going to be a consonant blend. Just 2 consonants, p and prite. There you go. Good. Good. All right, our consonants are p, I, t. Now we have a short word that ends with a T, so we're going to spell that I sound with an IGH. Beautiful. Well done. All right. Now we might or might not use an IGH in this next word. You tell me if we need to use it or not. Our word to do together is spire. Spire. So we have s, p, I, consonants. S, p, I, Now, what do you think? Do we need to spell that IGH? Do we need to spell that long I sound with an IGH? Or no? What do you think? You guys are right, exactly. We are not going to spell that long I sound with an IGH because it doesn't end with a T. My goodness, you are such fast learners. Gorgeous. So yeah, that R there means that we're just going to use a final silent D to make that long I sound be spelled with an I. So here we're going to use our I to spell the long I sound. Now, in order for it to make its long sound, it needs a companion vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. That's what that silent D is for right there. Spire. Your word. I want you to spell the word plied. Plied. P-L-I-D. Plied. And then put that in the Q&A for me, please. Plied. Hunter, give me one more letter. For plied. Ben, you have all of the right letters, but I need one of them in a different spot. Nice, Nimat and Sheath. Plied. D-d-d. So there's no T in this word. Plied. You're close, Carmen. There we go. Karis, I need one more letter. Plied. Good, Ruby. Nima, Sheath, let me look. Yes, very good. Nice, Gwendolyn. Good, Isla and Jack. Ben, you have all the right letters, but I want one of them, and same with you, Hunter, in a different spot. Plied. Look at this one as an example right here. That will help you. So our consonants in plied are P, L, I, D. Now, can we use an IGH to spell the long I sound in this spot? No, we can't. Why? Because in order for us to spell the long I sound with an IGH, that short word has to end with a T, right? Like right, might, sight, fight, bright. They all end with a T. They all end with a T. If not, then we're going to use just a simple silent E to make that long I sound. To make that I spell the long I sound. There's plied. All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to do one with you on this one. You're just going to tell me how you're going to spell this next word. Spell the word drite. Drite. D-R-I-T. Drite. How would you spell drite? How would you spell drite? Very good. Drite. Excellent. Beautiful. Good. Drite. That's right. Very good. So in drite, our consonants, we always spell the consonants first, right? So that you can know how to spell those vowel sounds. Because as you know, vowels have a lot of different spellings, so we spell those last so that we can see how to spell it by the letters that are around it. For instance, this word, we're going to know how to spell that long I sound because of that sound that's after it. So our consonants are D, R, I, T. Now, can we use the IGH to spell the long I sound in this word? Yes, we can, because it's a short word and it ends with a T. Here is drite. How good are you at spelling? You are super spellers, my friends. Okay, now you're going to tell me how to spell this one without me. Okay, no hints from me. Spell the word. Spell the word pyre. Pyre. P-I-R. Pyre. And then put it in the Q&A. There you go. Look how smart you guys are. You're so brilliant. Pyre. Good. Pyre. Yep, you knew it. You knew that we're going to spell our consonants as P and R. We're going to have this long I sound right here. Are we going to use an IGH for this word? No, because it doesn't end with a T. That's where our silent E comes in, right there. It shares the same line as that R. Silent E doesn't get its own line because the lines are sounds. And silent E doesn't have a sound, right? So it shares the same line as the R because we spell sounds, not letters. All right, who wants a hard one? Do you want a hard one, a medium one, or an easy one for our last few minutes here? Put in E, M, or H for easy, medium, or hard. I'm getting a lot of requests for easies, but I also am getting a lot of requests for hard. So let's do a medium one. Okay. Because I have a really hard one, but okay, let's try this one. 4 minutes. Okay, try the word grite. Grite. G-R-I-T. Grite. And drop your spelling in the Q&A. Okay, that one is pretty easy for a lot of you. You're already putting it in the Q&A. You already know it's spelled with an IGH. Maybe we will do a hard one. You guys are getting really good at this. Wow, every single person is getting it. Okay, so our consonants are G, R, and T. For the long I spelling in short words that end with a T, we're going to put that IGH, but you already knew that. I think you want a hard one. We have about 3.5 minutes, so let's do a hard one. Okay, you ready? You asked for it. I want you to spell the word I-pin-de-bim. You got this. I-pin-de-bim. I-pin-de-bim. Here's your spaces. I, p, I, n, d, I, b, I, m. Most people couldn't spell that, but you can because you're in this class. You've got it. I-pin-de-bim. Try spelling I-pin-de-bim. Here's I, here's pin, here's d, and here's bim. I-pin-de-bim. Look at that. Look at these beautiful words coming in. I-pin-de-bim. Nice. Did you know you could spell a word like that? Did you have any idea that you were such good spellers? Oh, I love the double B, Carmen. That's amazing. It's, okay, well, let's just go for it so I can explain it. So consonants, I, p, I, n, d, I, b, I, m. There's your consonants. Vowels, I. We're gonna spell that with a single I, which can say its long sound right there because there's another vowel in the next one or two spots. I is the next vowel sound. It can say its short sound right there just fine because there's two consonants after it. Now look at this next I. You haven't learned yet. You're gonna learn this next week. That when I is in the middle syllable, you don't have to double the next letter. But if you did, that is gorgeous that you know that. That is amazing. So whether you put one B or two B's there, I want you to count it as correct because I haven't even taught you about that it could not have a single B there. And then our final I right there. I-pin-de-bim. Did you know that you could spell a word like I-pin-de-bim? And you spelled it correctly. And I didn't even give it to you ahead of time. And you didn't even study for it. And you didn't even memorize it. And you didn't write it a million times. And you didn't study it the night before and use it in a sentence. You didn't do any of that. You just knew how to spell it because you are learning how to spell so that you can spell anything, even words like I-pin-de-bim. Who's amazing? You are. You're amazing. Have a good rest of your night being wonderful. Enjoy that, and we will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody. Okay, that was my youth class that I am teaching live. Now I'm about to start my adult spelling class. Thanks for watching. Okay. All right. I'm about to start my adult reading class. My adult spelling class. So enjoy. Thanks for coming along and watching. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to spelling class. Happy Wednesday. I hope your day has been as wonderful as you are. So very, very great. Very wonderful. Thank you for making the time to come to spelling class today. I have something great to teach you. It's going to be worth your time. But first, let's warm up our ears so that we can hear what we are spelling. So would you please count how many sounds you hear in the word ambition? Please count how many sounds you hear in the word ambition. Hello, everyone. Saying hello in the Q&A. It's nice to see you here. If you just joined us, welcome. And if you're brand new, welcome. We are just counting the sounds in ambition. And then put that number in the Q&A for me. How many sounds in ambition? Good. I'm getting a lot of one number. You guys are getting really good at this. Most people cannot do this, but you can now that you're studying so hard with me. Okay, in ambition, we have a, m, b, I, sh, a, n, 7. And almost, there's so many 7s in the Q&A. And if you didn't get 7, you got very, very close. Let's try that again. I want you to do it with me. A, m, b, I, sh, a, n. That schwa sound might have made it a little difficult to count because schwa sounds get absorbed into the sounds before it and the sounds after it, don't they? So it's kind of hard to hear, but if you stretch out those sounds, if you really stretch out that word, ambition, then you can hear it. That B is also hard to count because it's such a quick sound. Like you can stretch out the a and the and the I and the sh. You can stretch out those sounds indefinitely. But a sound like B, it's fast and it cuts off and it's hard to stretch. It's impossible to stretch. So I can see why that one would be hard to count as well. So here's how you're going to spell those 7 sounds in ambition. That A is making its short sound because of the 2 consonants after it. That I is following the confident rule that I'm going to teach you next week. When I is in the middle syllable, it makes its short sound regardless of how many consonants are after it. That TI, I also get to teach you this month. I'm going to teach you all about TI and CI and SI. This TI is going to say shh when it's toward the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it. That's how you spell the sh sound in that spot. And then the O is spelling the schwa sound that we were talking about, which is a very common schwa spelling pattern that we're going to learn in O month. All right, let's count another word. Count how many sounds you hear in landscape, please. Landscape. How many sounds do you hear in landscape? How many sounds in landscape? It's a compound word, so you can count each word separately, land and scape, and then add them up if that's easier for you. How many sounds in landscape? Not syllables, sounds. How many sounds in landscape? Getting 7s, 8s, and 9s mostly in the Q&A here. So let's figure it out. In landscape, there's a very subtle D in there. Did you hear it when I pronounced it? Because it's hard. It can be very hard to hear that D, especially if we say that word quickly and maybe a little lazily. We would just say, look at the landscape. That N would turn into a stop before we form the next sound, that S, and so that D could just get absorbed into that N stopped sound. But I want you to count it. So in landscape, we have L, A, N, D, S, K, A, P, 8. 8 sounds. Again, we have L, A, N, D, S, K, A, P. 8 sounds. Here's how those sounds are spelled. Everything is saying exactly what you would expect. And you can see that those 2 A's are spelling something totally different. That first A is spelling the short A sound because there are 2 consonants after it. That second A is spelling the long A sound because there's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. But you already knew that because you're in this class. All right, one more to count. I want you to count how many sounds are in the word bubble. How many sounds in bubble? Be careful. How many sounds in bubble? How many sounds in bubble? How many sounds in bubble? All right, they're starting to come in. So far, everybody's answer is the same. How many sounds in bubble? So that's probably a... All right, now we're getting several of another number. So let's count and see what we've got in bubble. We have b, a, b, ul, 4. 4 sounds. B, a, b, ul. 4 sounds in bubble. Now here's what I want you to know. It would be very tempting to pronounce the first sound as ba, but that is not the sound that B makes. B, your jaw can't drop. Only your lips move, and it just puffs out some air. B, b. If your jaw drops, then that will come on, and we can't have that on the same sound as the B. We have to have those separated so that we can spell each one. So we have b, b, ul. Okay, 4 sounds. Here's how they're spelled. That final E there is there just to be the vowel in that syllable. That's called a consonant LE syllable. That E is simply being the vowel in that syllable. Okay, 3 more warm-up questions. Say the word paper. Paper. Now say paper, but without the second P. Say paper, but without the second P. Okay. How'd you do on that one? Here's what we've got. Paper, our sounds are P, A, P, R. If we get rid of this second P, then our sounds are P, A, R. Payer. So we have paper to payer. Paper to payer. How did you do? Yes, you got it, or A. Why? Yes, you got it, or A almost. Why or A? How did you do? Okay. Good. All right, let's try this next one. Say the word reef. Reef. Now, say it, but now don't write anything down. Try not to even think about the spelling, just the sounds. Say the word reef, but add a G to the very front. Say reef, but add a G to the very front. So when you do that, reef changes to grief. Reef to grief. How was that one? Y or A? Yes or almost? Y, yes, you got it. A, almost. Okay, good. All right, last warm-up question. Last warm-up question, say the word river. River. Now, change the V to a Ch. Say river, but change the V to a Ch. So you can't let your top teeth go over your bottom lip at all. Okay, so we have I, V, This V, we're changing to a Ch. So now we have I, Ch, Richer. It was river, and now it's richer. River to richer. How did you do on that one? Actually, tell me E, M, or H for easy, medium, or hard for that one. Okay. Thank you. E, M, or H for easy, medium, or hard. Okay. Thank you. All right, your ears are all warmed up now, so we're going to be able to hear what we're spelling. That's the hardest part of spelling, is hearing the sounds that you're supposed to spell. Spelling isn't about memorization of a random group of letters that might make no sense if you're not hearing the sounds that correspond with each one of those letters. It's not about memorization. It's not about guessing, certainly. It's about understanding how those sounds are broken up and how those sounds are spelled. So now that we are warmed up, let's dive into today's lesson. We're going to be learning about IGH today. So in I month, so far, this is only our second lesson in I month, we have learned that I has a long sound. It's that diphthong I, and it also has that short sound I with your mouth in a long, wide grin. I. So we have I and I. If you're spelling the long I sound, usually, almost always, you have to have another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. If not, it will make its short sound. There are a couple exceptions, but we're going to learn next week, but that's generally what you're going to find. Today, you're going to learn that IGH is how you're going to spell that long I sound in the middle of short words that end with a T. Spell it IGH in the middle of short words that end with a T. What qualifies as a short word? Any word that has only one vowel sound in it. So if it's a short word that ends with a T, use IGH to spell that long I sound, such as sight, right. And if you can think of some, put them in the comments. Good. Light, might, bright. Can you think of any others? Short words that end with a T. Thank you. We have might, fight, there's one. Flight. Good. Yeah, do you see all those words? Sight, right, light, might, bright, fight, flight. They all end with a T. So today's lesson, if you're spelling the long I sound in the middle of a short word that ends with a T, use IGH. If that short word does not end with a T, here's what you do. Add a silent E. Okay? Like words like kite or lime. Not kite. That was the worst example because it ends with a T. There are just a couple examples, but like lime or mine or tire. So those are short words where you're spelling the long I sound and the last sound is not a T. Then you're going to use a silent E to be that companion vowel, to be the vowel that comes in the next 1 or 2 spots so that that first I can make its long sound. Does that make sense? So today in most of our words, we're going to be practicing using that IGH, but you have to pay attention to if the word ends with a T or not. If it doesn't, you're going to use the silent E to spell that long I sound, okay? All right, so let me share my screen. Let me share my screen and we will get spelling. All right, so our first word that we are going to work on together is thight. So that first sound is my tongue going between my teeth and I'm blowing. Thight. So we have, whoops. You just wait for that, don't you? Every single time I have to put the pen on. So we have I, t. So our consonants are that blowing, that breathless, voiceless sound where your tongue goes between your teeth. That is spelled with the TH. TH can spell 2 sounds. It can make that voiceless sound and just say, or when your tongue is between your teeth, you can use your vocal cords and vibrate that sound. So it would say as in the, this, those. Both spellings are with the TH. TH is both spellings of both of those sounds, voiced and voiceless. So our word was fight. So our last sound is that T. Now we have that long I spelling, which we're going to use our IGH for. That's our spelling hack for the day. When you're spelling the long I sound in a short word that ends with a T, use IGH. When you're spelling the long I sound in a short word that ends with a T, use IGH. Your turn. Spell the word splite. Splite. We have S-P-L-I-T, and then put it in the Q&A. Spell splite. Splight. Why is it not just ITE instead of IGHT? It is in very, very few words. Very, very few words. That's a very rare exception, like in kite. Usually it's just going to be that IGHT, that the IGH spells the long I sound. Daryl, can I get one more letter from you and you will have it? Nicola, give me one more letter. So I want the word splight. There are 3 consonants. That's a consonant, a 3-letter consonant blend at the beginning. Sp. There's a p in there. Splight. Splight. There you go. Splight. That first word is fight, Beverly. Fight. Rhymes with fight, doesn't it? And it sounds so similar. All right, so for splight, our consonants are s, p, l, and t. Our long I sound is going to be spelled with an IGH because that's how you spell the long I sound in the middle of short words. That is how you spell the long I sound in the middle of short words. All right, whenever I just barely move this mic, it has a little bit of a tantrum. Okay, we should be good now. If you can't hear me, let me know in the Q&A, but I think we're okay. Mic's cutting in and out. Yeah, let me see if I can make this any tighter here. All right, I can't touch the mic, but hopefully this is better. Hope that should be good. Okay, good, good. All right, our next word, we'll do this one together, is chite. Chite. Now my first sound is ch, like chop or cherry. So we have ch, I, t, chite, chite. Our consonants, ch and t. Now here we have a short sound a short word that ends with a T. So we're going to spell that long I sound with an IGH. That's our spelling hack for the day. When you're spelling the long I sound, sorry, I know that mic keeps cutting out, you guys. I need to get a different wire. I really can't touch the mic. But hopefully it'll settle down here in a second after I don't touch it for a second. Sorry about that. In the meantime, you're probably going to hear me. There we go. Okay. No bumping the mic. So there's chite. Your word is prite. Prite. We have p, r, I, t. Prite. Prite. And then go ahead and put your word in the Q&A. Prite. Very good. Nice. Excellent. Good. Beautiful. So Dorsey, you're right that ER does spell the sound sometimes, but that's usually when it's in its own syllable. In this case, we're going to use that. It's going to be a 2-letter consonant blend for prite. Just like, do you see these 2 consonants right there? Prite. Yeah, very good. So our consonants are p, r, and t. Now here's our long I sound that we're spelling in the middle of a short word that ends with a T. We're spelling it with an IGH. Gorgeous. Okay, now how do you think you're going to spell the word spire? I don't think I want to give you any hints on this one. How would you spell the word spire? It's probably a real word, isn't it? But let's just spell it anyway. Spire. No hints from me. How would you spell the word spire? And if you don't want to, you don't have to do it until I do it with you so that you can understand it. Taryn, there is a silent E in there, but it's going to be at the end. So just flop those. Spire, spire. Good, Joe. Nice, Taryn. There we go. Good, Beverly. There you go. Spire. All right, so I should have done this one with you because I really like to set you up for success before I just throw you at something that's slightly new. Here's what's going on in this word. We have our consonants, s, p, and r. That long I sound you might think would be spelled with an IGH, just like those ones above it. However, we're only going to use IGH in short words that end with a T. We're only going to use IGH in short words that end with a T. So since this word does not end with a T, we're going to use an I for sure, but it needs a companion vowel in the next one or two spots. So that's where a silent E comes in. You'll notice that silent E at the end of a lot of words. It's always doing something, and most of the time, this is what it's doing. It's making the vowel two doors back make its long sound. It's giving it permission to pronounce its long sound. That's why that I can now say I, because there's now a vowel in the next one or two spots. So thank you, silent E. Keeping that in mind, spell this word. Plied. Plied. P-L-I-D. Spell the word plied. Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Plied. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Nice, good, gorgeous, nice, beautiful, plied. Very good, everyone. All right, so now you've never spelled the word plied before because it's not a word and I just made it up, but you knew how to spell it. You knew that it didn't have an IGH in there because it doesn't end with a T. So our consonants are P, L, D. The long I sound is going to be spelled with an I consonant. I consonant, final silent E. I consonant, final silent E. All right, so look at these first 6 words we've done here. We have fight, splite, chite, prite. Those first 4 all qualify for that IGH because it's a short word that ends with a T. Those last 2 do not qualify for the IGH because it's a short word, yes, but it does not end with a T. So sending you out with that information now for this next word. Spell the word without me, drite. Drite. D-R-I-T. Spell drite. 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 There you go. Nice. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Yep, well done. Drite. Yep. Consonants are D, R, and T. Now we're going to use that IGH spelling for the long I sound because it's a short word that ends with a T. Beautiful. Brilliant. You ready for a harder one? Okay, so this next one is going to be using the spelling patterns that we learned on Monday. So if you're brand new, you have to have 2 consonants after a short vowel. If there's not 2, make 2 by doubling the next letter. Okay, so okay. Should I do one with you? I do love to set you up for success. So let's do one together. I want our word to be IFISP. IFISP. It's kind of tricky to say, much less spell. So our sounds are I, F, I, sp. IFISP. Sounds, consonants. I, F, I, sp. Vowels. I is that first vowel. Can that I say I there? Not yet. Because it has a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. That would make it say I. I don't want it to say I want it to say I. I is a short vowel. Short vowels require 2 consonants after it. If there's not 2, make 2 by doubling that next letter. Now it can say I. IFISP. What about this I? Can it say I here? Yeah, just fine because of those 2 letters after it. IFISP. Now yours. You spell the word without me. IPILT. IPILT. I, P, I, L, T. Try spelling ipilt. Ipilt. How do you spell ipilt? Gorgeous. Well done. Very good. Ipilt. I love it. You must feel so proud of your knowledge that you're gaining. Ipilt. So far, every single person is spelling it correctly. You're amazing. Ipilt. Ipilt. Good. Yeah. Well done. Ipilt. Good. Okay. Every single person has got it. You just never cease to amaze me. All right. Your consonants in ipilt are I, P, I, O, T. Vowels. I. Can this I say I here? Not yet, because there is another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots that would make it say I. I don't want it to say I want it to say I. I is a short vowel. Short vowels require 2 consonants after them. If there's not 2, make 2 by doubling that next letter. Now it can say I. This I can say I right there just fine already. Look at what you can spell. You've never seen that word before, but you spelt it without any problem because you knew how. You're amazing. Okay, one more to send you off. Spell the word Zeit. Zeit. Z-I-T. Spell Zeit. Zeit. How would you spell Zeit? Yep. Yep. You knew it. You knew it. Very good. That's right. You have to use a IGH right here. Here's our consonants, the Z and the T. You have to use an IGH right there to spell the long I sound because it's a short word that ends with a T. What if I wanted you to spell, I should probably just send you off on this beautiful note because everybody spelled it correctly. Gorgeous. Sheldon, that GH was swapped, but I have a feeling that was just a typing error because all of your other ones, you've got that ZH, that GH correct. So congratulations. Now you know when to spell with an IGH versus an I consonant final silent E. I'm so happy for your new knowledge. It's yours to keep forever. Have a wonderful night, my friends, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye, everybody. Okay, that was my adult reading class. And now I'm about to prepare for, no, that was my adult spelling class. Now I'm about to prepare for my adult reading class, which is I'm going to start them in about 30 seconds. So I need to pull that up here real fast. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I am letting my adult reading class members in. A lot of them are coming straight over from the spelling class, but a lot of people from all over the world are in this reading class. There's a lot of people in here. And of course, they're all on time. They're amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to pay attention and focus on my class, but thank you for joining me. Welcome to reading class. It's so nice to have you. Welcome everybody who just came in from the spelling class. You're giving me a whole hour out of your day, and I hope to make that well worth your time. And if you're brand new, a special welcome to you. And hello if you're watching the recording. All right, my friends, we are going to count some sounds. I want you to count how many sounds are in the word activity. 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 Please count how many sounds are in the word activity and then put that in the Q&A for me, please. That was fast, Joe. That was fast counting. Activity. How many sounds are in activity? All right, we're getting anywhere from 5 to 8 in the Q&A. So in activity, we have a, k, t, I, v, I, t, E. 8. One more time. A, k, t, I, v, I, t, E. 8 sounds. Here's how those sounds are spelled. Every word is spelling what you would, every letter is spelling what you would expect in this word. The first A is making it short sound because of the tap 2 rule. That first I mean, it's making it short sound even though it's breaking the tap 2 rule for a very special reason that we're going to learn, I think on Monday, definitely next week. If you have been here before, if you've been here for if this is your second or third year, you probably already know why that I is saying I right there in the middle. Same, both of those middle 2 I's are making their short sound for a very special reason that we're going to learn about. And then that Y is spelling the E sound because that's what Y usually says at the end of longer words. It's saying E. Okay, excellent. Now count how many sounds are in the word second. How many sounds are in the word second? Stretch it out. Grab all of those sounds. Second. How many sounds? How many sounds in second? Hopefully you can hear my stomach growl. I'm so hungry. Excuse me. How many sounds in second? All right, we're getting an assortment of answers, anywhere from 4 to 7 for second. This one can be kind of hard. Second. Because there's a schwa in there. So here's what we have. S, e, k, a, n, d. 6. 6 sounds in second. Again. Excuse me. S, e, k, a, n, d. 6 sounds. Now, I wish this word had 2 C's. It's a rule breaker word that if it followed typical phonetic patterns, you know that word should say second, right? But this is English and we have a lot of rule breakers in our language. But at least you know that reading pattern so that you can apply it to most of the words that you're going to come across. And that O right there is spelling the schwa sound, which is a common spelling for the sound at the end of multisyllable words. And we're going to learn all about that in O month. Okay, last one to count. How many sounds are in the word I'm pausing because I give this word a lot in my dyslexia screenings. And it's a tough one. But if you're in my class, you're probably going to do better than most people. So how many sounds are in the word animals, plural? Animals. Count them up. How many sounds in the word animals? Animals. Kaylee, why does it break the rule? I wish I knew, my friend. I wish I knew. A lot of the times, those rule breakers will also have their own patterns. Exceptions also have their own patterns a lot of times, but that one I'm not sure why that one breaks the rule. Okay, so we're counting how many sounds in animals, plural. Okay, getting an assortment of answers. So we have a, n, I, m, a, o, z. 7. Again, do it with me. A, n, I, m, a, o, z. 7 sounds. Here's how those sounds are spelled. You know how I taught you in A month that when you have A as the first letter and there's a vowel 2 doors down, that first A is going to make it schwa sound? That's when it's unaccented. So even though this word looks like a rule breaker, it's actually not. It's that exception that also follows a pattern. When A is accented, it can't be the schwa sound because schwas are always in the unaccented syllables of a word. So whenever you hear a schwa sound in a word, or whenever you're reading a schwa, or whenever you're spelling a schwa sound, just that it's always going to be unaccented. You're going to say that part of the word less strongly or less emphasized. Animals. Can you hear that emphasis on that accent on that first syllable? Animals. That's why that A does not change to the schwa sound. But that third vowel, that's final A, it does change to the schwa sound because without that S at the end, the base word is animal, and that A does follow the schwa rule. That's what A says when it's toward the end of a multisyllable word with an L at the end. And then you're just adding that suffix S to make it plural. So those are the 7 sounds in animal. Okay, 3 more quick warm-up questions. Say the word basket. Say basket. Don't forget the when you say basket. Now, say basket without the Say basket without the Don't write anything down. We are saying basket without the Is it a challenge? Okay, when you do that, we have b, a, s, k, e, t. Without the our sounds are b, a, s, k, t. Basked, basked, like you basked in the sun. So basket without the is basked. I want to know Y or A if you got that. Yes, you got it. Y, yes, you got it. A almost. Y or A? That was a hard one. Yeah, I know. So was animals, right? Counting those sounds in animals. All right, it's about a 50-50 split for if that one was a yes or an almost. Here, try this one. Say the word boom. Boom. Now, say boom, but add an O after the B. Say boom, but add an O after the B. Okay, when you do that, boom changes to bloom. Boom to bloom. How was that one? Easy, medium, or hard? E, M, or H? E, M, or H for boom to bloom. Easy, medium, or hard? That one was more easy? Good. Good. I want you to also feel the success as well as the challenges. Okay, last warm-up question, then we're going to get reading. Say the word temple. Temple. Now, say temple, but change the L to an Say temple, but change the L to an Okay, when you do that, if you weren't distracted by my gurgling belly, can you hear my stomach growl? I don't know why I'm so hungry. Okay, when you do that, temple, changing the to a is temper. Temple to temper. Easy, medium, or hard for that one? E, M, or H? You guys are just being polite. I have a feeling that you can hear my stomach growl. You're just saying no because you're trying to make me feel better. Oh, you got Templar. Okay. So Beverly, I like how you got the on there. It's that L that's hard to get out of it, isn't it? Those L's, they're hard. They're hard to hear. They're hard to isolate. They're hard to manipulate. That's why we do this practice. And L's and R's are the same as far as difficulty level. And that one we had to get rid of an L and put in an R. So that one was kind of a tough one. Yeah, Blair did the same thing. He got Templar too. All right, my friends, let's get reading. So today we are going to learn about IGH. You're going to see IGH in a lot of words, and it just says I. It doesn't follow the tap 2 rule pattern, but it has its own pattern. It says I, the I is making its long sound, and you'll usually see it in the middle of short words, sometimes at the end. Like, for instance, you'll see it at the end of a word like sigh, or you might see it in a word like sight. And those short words, especially when they end with a T, they are very common for having that IGH spell the long I sound. As in might, and if you, let me spell that right. Light, right, sight, flight. All of those are short words that end with a T that are typically going to be spelled with an IGH spelling that long I sound. IGH can come in a couple other areas as well. So in today's reading class, you're going to see IGH in different spots next to different letters, but I want your subconscious to learn to recognize it as a unit that says I. So we're going to block off that IGH to teach our brain that that says one sound, I. It's a trigraph. 3 letters that make one sound. That's a trigraph. 3 letters that make one sound. You don't hear the G, you don't hear the H, you only hear the I, and it makes this long sound. It says its name. All right, so let's get reading. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. All right. So let's mark our first word here together. So here we have a digraph and a trigraph in one word. Our word has 5 letters, but only 2 sounds. Look, here we have an SH, that's our digraph, 2 letters that are making one sound. It's saying shh. And here is our trigraph, 3 letters that are making one sound. That I is making its long sound and saying I. 5 letters, but only 2 sounds. And we don't read letters, we read sounds. So if we read those sounds, we have sh and I. Blending those sounds together, we have shy, shy. All right, let me squish this up a little bit. Go ahead and try yours over here. What would your words say? You also have a digraph and a trigraph. A digraph and a trigraph. Oh yeah, high is another example. Thank you. The like opposite of low. All right, so here our digraph, that CH says ch. CH can say a few other things too, but those are 4 words that we got from different languages. It can say sh, like in chef, but that comes from the French language. It can say k, as in school, but that comes from the Greek language. In English, it's going to say ch, like church, or chore, or charm. Okay, so here we have a ch and here we have an I. Blending those together, we have chai, chai. All right, over here, I have a 3-letter consonant blend. Then I have my IGH that's going to say I. Notice I'm blocking it off. Go ahead and use your pencil if you've printed this out. Hopefully you have, because this pencil changes everything. This pencil changes everything. Print out the PDF, use the pencil. It puts it in a different part of your brain. It makes it a multi-sensory experience. It really changes the game when you use your pencil. So block off that IGH and put that long I macron, that's called, over that I. Now we can dot our sounds. We have s, t, I, t. Make sure you get the R. That R is going to want to sneak out. Make sure you control that spot. We have strite, strite. Now you'll notice that big diphthong mouth movement for the I sound. Especially in this word, because the shape of our mouth when it made that R is like this. Our lips are forward. And then we have to form that whole I sound, which is a diphthong. It has a whole lot of mouth movement in it. And then it ends with that T. So our mouth is doing a lot of moving through that, just those three sounds. Strite. And then our tongue spits out that T at the end. Strite. If you make your mouth move intentionally with a lot of big movements, then those sounds have more room to come out. So if you allow your mouth to make big movements when it's making those sounds, then the sounds have more space to be articulated carefully and clearly. Try that on this next word. So here we have a digraph blend is what's this called. Here, this one over here, this number 2, this is a 3-letter consonant blend, but this right here is a digraph blend. It's a digraph plus a consonant. It's called a digraph blend. So grab every single sound and I'll be quiet while you work. All right, did you grab the R? Make sure you grab that R and put it in the right spot. So our digraph blend is here's that diphthong, I, and then T. Blending those sounds together, we have thrite, thrite. Again, a lot of mouth movement through that R, and then the long I sound, and then that T. Thrite, thrite. Look at this number 3. This looks fun. Do you want to try it on your own? Go ahead and try this first number 3 on your... yeah, I'm going to just let you go for it. I think you can do it just fine without me. Just apply what you've learned so far and you'll be fine. Grab the R, make sure that that R is in its right spot. All right, so we know that this first I is going to make it short sound and say I because of the tap 2 rule. Now, this word looks kind of funky with those 2 G's in there, right? But now you know not to be intimidated, not to be weirded out by those 2 G's in that word. You know exactly what's happening. That first G is making its hard sound because there's not an E, I, or Y after it. That second G is part of that trigraph, that IGH trigraph that says I. So our sounds are I, G, I. Blending those together, you have imgry, 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 right? Did you get that one? Yes or almost? Y or A? How did you do on that, on imgry? That's a lot of Y's. I knew you could do it. I knew you didn't even need me to set that one up for you. Wow, what? Every single person? Wow, you guys, every single person got that right. Do you see why I say you're incredible? That's proof. It's proof. You are getting this stuff. You are picking up what I am throwing down and applying what you're learning to read these words that you've never seen before in your whole life without any errors. Okay, number 4. Try this number 3. Try this number 3 right here without me. All right, we have this first I that's going to make its short sound I because of the tap 2 rule. We have this I that's making its long sound because that's what IGH says. So our sounds are I, O, S, t, I. Ilstai. 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 How'd you do on that one? Y or A? Yes or almost for Ilstai? Was that one any harder? No, not hard for you? I think we're gonna have to go down to the extra practice hard ones, aren't we? My goodness, every single person. I am so sincere when I say that you blow me away. I just never expect you to get these so well. I should by now. I should expect you to pick these up, what I'm teaching you so fast. But it just never ceases to amaze me. All right, put your number for what you want. Which one of these extra practice words do you want me to do with you? Let's just go for the hard ones since you're doing so well. Any requests? Okay, we're getting a lot of number 8s. All right, go for number 8 on your own without me, and then I'll come back after you and do it with you. You're just having fun reading, aren't you? I have a feeling you are just enjoying this almost as much as I am. James, that is so kind. Thank you. You are the good ones. We're doing number 8. Okay, so we have a K right there at the beginning. It's, of course, making the K sound, but could we also put a C right there and have it say the same thing? Not in this word, because if a C has an E, I, or Y after it, like that word, then that C is going to have to say S. It'll make a soft sound. So if I want this word to have a K at the beginning, I have to spell that K sound with a K. That's why that K is there. All right, this I is saying I, it's short sound because of the tap 2 rule. This I is saying it's long sound because it's part of that IGH trigraph. And this I is making its short sound I because of the tap 2 rule. So our sounds are, this is a long word. Let me scoot my computer back and make room here for my tablet. We have K, I, S, I, T, I, N. Now, since it's such a long word, I think I'm going to do successive blending and grab just one sound at a time. Ki, Kim, Kims, Kimsai, Kimsite, Kimsite, Kimsitin, Kimsitin, Kimsitin. And I'm accenting that first syllable. Remember, we talked about that a little bit at the beginning of class. That emphasis is on the first syllable. Kimsitin, Kimsitin. How'd you do? I want to hear Y or A, yes or almost for Kimsitin. The hardest words on the page. Nice, Kaylee. Oh, my goodness, I don't know if I can make any words more challenging than this for you guys, but let's try another one. We have a request for number 9. So go ahead and try number 9. Easy. You're just that good. All right, so our first I is going to say I because of those 2 T's. That second I is going to say I because of those 2 consonants. That third I is going to say I because it's part of the IGH trigraph. Our sounds are I, T, I, N, D, I. One sound at a time. Li, lit, litti, litin, littened, littender, littendry, littendry. Now here's what I want you to focus on. The R in that word. Because it could be tempting to read that word as littendry. That would be a whole extra syllable. Littendry is 3 syllables, but if I stretched out the sound of that it would be littendry. dry. 4 syllables. So here's what I want you to do. Focus on that DR blend right there. Pronounce those 2 sounds very close together. Der instead of d-er. Instead of separating the d from the you want to combine and marry those sounds so that they touch. Der. Then it will turn that into a 3-syllable word. Litten dry. Litten dry. I got litten dry. You're not alone. That's why I said that, because I had a feeling a lot of people were doing that. Yeah, see, a lot of people are saying, yeah, I was saying litten dry. Litten dry. So that R, it needs to be coupled with a consonant before it in those consonant blends. Like BR would be br, like bright or bring. TR would be ter, like tree or try. Do you see how the R is just kind of married in with that consonant right before it? Instead of I, or that's not a good example. Bring, it's bring. Okay? Let's try number 10. I know that we're running out of time, but try number 10 because it has that consonant blend in there with that second consonant being the R. And try it. You got it, didn't you? All right, I'm feeling the good vibes coming through. So this I we know says I, this I we know says I because of that IGH trigraph, which is our new reading hack for the day. Here is our DR that I want you to focus on saying der instead of d-er. Focus on squeezing those 2 sounds together. Der, der. So we have d-er, I, p, o, I, t. Der, did you hear that? Der, drimplite. Same with that L. That L can also get separated from its intended consonant in that consonant blend. And it could be p, light. But pull is a little bit easier to blend maybe than der. So that sound would be, that word would be drimplite. Drimplite. How'd you do on that one? Y or A? Oh, yeah. Good job. All right, my friends, beautiful work. Hopefully you are feeling good about what you learned today about IGH, saying I. It's a little bit of a rule breaker. It's a little bit of a exemption from the typical tab 2 rule, but a lot of our exceptions, I should say, also have their own reading patterns, like this one. IGH just says I. It's usually in the middle of short words or that end with a T, or it can be at the end. Yeah, usually in short words, you're going to see that. You did amazing today. As always, I was just thrilled to see what you were putting through on the feedback. You're welcome. Thank you for coming, my friends. I just love teaching this class. I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye, everybody. Aren't they amazing? I wish you could experience it like me, just the joy it is to help people read better and spell better. Let me show you just a few of the products that I have to help you or your loved one if you need it. Okay, these are all, well, YouTube. So I have YouTube over here and TikTok over here. Yes, you have access to these products too. This teaching tips book will help you teach somebody who is dyslexic or has ADHD or just does not feel like learning. This will help you help the difficult student. These are all, these only come in the full system. The only way you can get all of these readers is in the full system. They are full of 5 short stories per lesson in the Learn Reading program. incredible deal right here. This is the begin reading packet. This you can use with students normally from about age 4 to age 7. This is really thick. It has a lot of daily activities. It will tell you exactly what day and what week to do things on. Like you're going to teach them the new grapheme, what it says, how to use that, how to pronounce that sound with using that mouth placement, and then how to use the new sound in actually pencil reading. So they're reading soon. They're reading in the very first lesson in this book. Let me show you in this little begin reading packet. I don't teach all 26 letters of the alphabet and then have them start to read. They read on day 1. The first lesson they're learning 5 so that you can actually read. But then in the very next page, on the second page, they're putting those 5 sounds together to read words. So they're reading on day 1. That is the begin reading packet. That is for ages 4 to 7. This is the preschool packet, age about 2 to 5. And this is also pretty thick, not sick, thick. This is about 10 weeks of lessons, daily lessons. It's a lot in there. This is about 5 weeks of lessons, daily lessons. And this is going to teach your pre-reader. So this is your pre-reader. It's going to set them up for your beginning reader. This will teach them how to apply what they are learning about the sounds to actually read. These phonics practice booklets, here is a beginning, here's an intermediate, and here is, well, there's also an advanced. Where'd the advanced go? Oh, this is advanced, this is intermediate, and this is beginning. So these are decodable words that are all nonsense words so that they don't rely on prior memory or previous memory of how words look. These are just nonsense words. So in the beginning packet, you have phonetically regular words that follow typical phonetic patterns that can be sounded out, all 1 syllable. In the intermediate packet, you have 1 and 2 syllable nonsense words so that they don't rely on prior memory of previously learned words. Can you read those? If you take my classes, you can. So this is the intermediate packet, and then the advanced level, you'll love these. Look at these words. These are 3 to 5 syllable words, nonsense words. So even the most advanced reader will want this phonics practice. To practice applying what they are learning, all those phonics skills, like they will know what this G says because there's an E, I, or Y after it, just like you heard me teach my class. So they know that that G is going to make a soft sound. So this is a chance to apply all of the phonics that they are learning. And then we have some handwriting help. We have cursive and print. Now these come with pages to practice the proper formation, but they also come with video tutorials. You basically get free access to my course where I teach you how to form all of the letters in both print and cursive. Okay, that is the handwriting help packets. This is the dyslexia screening kit. This is what you can do if you suspect dyslexia. So this has 9 different tasks in there. For instance, you're going to ask the person, what would bite say without the t? So I'm talking to YouTube and TikTok. I'll try to go back and forth. What would bite say without the t? That's the kinds of questions that are in this dyslexia screening kit so that you can get a good idea of whether or not dyslexia is the possible cause of any academic struggles that you might be facing. And then this is the gold standard. This is workbook 1. Where's the whole, here it is. Here's the whole stack. This is the whole stack. If you want the workbook bundle, you get all 8 of these. If you want the whole system, then you get all 8 of these. And you get all 8 of these little readers that go 5 stories in each lesson, for each lesson. So much. And you get all of these that I just showed you. All of this is in the full system. But let me just put all of this down and I'll just show you workbook 1, because that seems to be a hot seller, so that you can see why people love this. So this is hefty. This has 80 lessons in it, and each lesson takes about an hour. So there's 80 hours of lessons just in this one booklet, in this one workbook. And this is completely comprehensive. So you're going to get everything that you will need in a comprehensive reading program. I'll show you. In the beginning of workbook 1, you're going to see links to training videos so that I can teach you everything that you'll need to learn about how to see all of these little links to all these training videos so that you can know everything that you need to know about either using the book for yourself, because it's all ages, or helping somebody else use it. All right, in lesson 1, the first page, I'm going to use a different one because that one is pristine. This one is well used. All right, so in lesson 1, the first page is your true sight word. These are words that break typical phonetic patterns that you have to learn in a special way. Then on the next page, you're going to learn your new grapheme. In lesson 1, you learn 5 new graphemes: L, T, N, R, and L. Wait, L, R, N, I, N, T. But that's the only lesson that you learn 5. Every other lesson in this book and in all the books, you learn just 1 new sound at a time, and then you just apply that to what you've already learned to read new words. So on this page, we're working on the mouth shape and the correct placement of the tongue so that the sound comes out correctly. On this page, you are learning how to hear those sounds within words, because, my friends, that is the most important thing you can do to improve somebody's reading or spelling skills, is to improve their phonemic awareness. That's what this page does, because you read sounds and you spell sounds. So you have to be able to hear what you're spelling. And so you have to hear what sound each letter in the word is making. That's what this page does. Then they learn how to pencil read. The pencil really does change everything. They're going to learn how to place a dot underneath each sound as they say it. Slowly blend those sounds together to read the word. Again, they are reading in lesson 1. They're reading. And by lesson 5 in this same book, get this, they're reading words like transatlantic and ecstatic in lesson 5. So you progress fast in this book, all right? On the next lesson, we do vocabulary, because I told you that this is an entirely comprehensive program. You have phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, comprehension. What did I miss? Everything that you need in a comprehensive reading program is in this one little workbook. So here is the vocabulary page. They're going to draw a picture of the definition of each one of these words so that when they go to read these words in a sentence, they will know what they say. Then you have 2 pages of word cards, just like that, so that you can cut those out and play games and activities with them. This is what will develop a lot of fluency. Because we're going to make it fun. We're going to gamify the learning. So you're going to play lots of games and activities using these paired word cards so that they can practice fluency and hear themselves reading confidently and fluently. Then the final lesson in every page, in every lesson, oh, I lied. I'll tell you why I lied in a second. But this is the sentences page where they read in context, because we don't read words in isolation very often. Usually we read for context. We read to comprehend and to learn something. So they're immediately reading in context, reading the words that they have just learned how to read so that they have meaning, so that they have purpose. And then on the next page, there are little spaces there so that you can illustrate what you're reading about. That just strengthens their comprehension. And if you have a dyslexic student, or if you are dyslexic yourself, then you might know that that is a skill that a lot of people have who have dyslexia, is they're able to visualize and describe and illustrate what they're reading about, and that will really sink that comprehension in. And all of that is just in lesson 1. And then you have lesson 2. This has 10 lessons. So all of these have 80 lessons in them. So this is what you get with the workbook bundle. This is what you get. All of this with all of these little short stories for every lesson, plus all of this is what you get with the whole system. Too much for me to carry. And if you have any questions or need any support, just send me a DM. If you have any questions about dyslexia, or if you're trying to teach somebody who is struggling, if you have a struggling reader, or if you are a struggling reader or a struggling speller yourself, just send me a DM. I'll be happy to help. All right, my friends, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to close this live for now. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.